Hey everybody, welcome to the G2E Preview with our star of the day. We have got Frank Legato from Global Gaming Business. Frank releases the most important article of the year to me. I mean, they're all important, Frank, but the ones that let's just say you are the one who gets this sort of you get a sneak peek at everything in the industry. You know where everything is, and none of us know. And it hasn't released yet, but it's going to be released this week. But we're very privileged to have Frank Legato here to tell us what this G2E is going to be about. Right. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yay!
So Linda, let's kick us off, Linda.
So, I kind of want to just start it out for those that, maybe tuning in that don't know what G2E is outside of just some letters. So Frank, how many G2Es to date have you been to? Let's just start with that.
I've been to all 20 of them. 02, this will be the 21st, I guess, right? Right.
Okay.
All right. Was the first one.
That is a lot.
Before that was World Gaming Congress. Before that, it was International Gaming Business Exposition. So I've been going to the big trade shows since 1985 was the first one.
Wow. Ow. Okay, so Mike, how many is this one? This one coming up for
2004 was my first one. So 18 of them. So I've been at 18 of them. Wow. And and I have a knee replacement to prove it. It is walking. There is just all you do is walk.
Yes.
And overwhelming. I remember the first G2E I ever went to. Casinos are overwhelming to begin with, but when you're looking at when everybody's trying to outshine everybody else, it is like if you have an epileptic problem, don't go. Don't go because it is lights flashing in your eyes and it is hard to tell what's important and what isn't. It's all overwhelming. It is one of the most overwhelming experiences. It really is.
But it's a great show because it is the highlight. I call it the Super Bowl for the casino industry. It's where everyone comes together, all the casinos around the world, the executives from them, all the slot manufacturers, media. Now we have influencers that are attending. Yeah. I mean, it's really opened up. And I think when I was going, I think the average number of attendance was anywhere between 25,000 to 30,000 annually that goes to this show. So I'm interested to see how this year goes after a couple of years of COVID. But basically that's what it is what Mike said. It's mini casinos that have been set up by all these slot manufacturers to show off the best of the best that they have coming out in the next year. So Mike kind of alluded to this, but Frank, every year you do a kind of a round robin with all of the slot manufacturers, right? And this normally happens about a month ago. So you sit down and you get the sneak peek of everything.
I think he spent the whole summer, didn't you? I mean,
was it the whole
we were the last ones he saw.
It was about it was 8 days in Vegas, and then I went to Austin to see you folks.
Okay. Oh wow! Okay, so and
so we did a Zoom with IGT because everybody was in Australia or something that week.
Okay.
And so I did 12 articles.
Oh my God.
And I farmed out 2 of them.
We put Frank on the spot right before this and everything. We said, what's your top 10? So, I mean, I think that's kind of interesting. Sorry, Linda, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, well, I mean, I think that's what everyone is kind of dying for. And I'm just kind of dragging that out. I'm like, because that's what we all want to hear. But there was also a couple of other things that I wanted to kind of pick Frank's brain on is of everything you've seen from a, like a casino slot operator perspective, what do you think they would be most excited about from the whole crop of what you've seen so far?
That sounds like you're asking me to pick my slot machines.
Potentially, right? But I mean, I guess we're just heading into that right now. Or if there was anything that you think would be interesting that maybe is like what you said is a little bit off the beaten path, but could be really exciting. And so if there was something, because that really intrigues me, some of these newer ways to, play a slot machine.
Well, I would hope that they embrace the mechanical reel stepper a bit more, from the operational side, because that it's not only because it's like my personal favorite kind of game, but just because I think it's an underserved market. I think there's not enough of them out there, and when they are out there, they're a 20-year-old machine with squeaky reels.
We've been doing really well in that Eilers report in that particular market, and this year there's more competition. Let's face it, with IGT and with Scientific Games, they've come in with some pretty impressive new games. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting for that segment, I think. And we're very confident in our space in that thing. We do that very well. And so it's great to see other people in that space and to make us even better, because it just makes us all better.
Yes. But is there a lot of innovation that can go into that? Because it is a classic, right? And I love, like, mechanical reels also are my favorite. Do you want, is there a lot of room there for innovation, or is it more keeping to what is tried and true? Just stay the course on that.
I think it's tried and true with a couple of little additions, like the transmissive technology, that's on there that IGT is using on their new reel spinning cabinet. I think it's called the Diamond RS. It's the
Diamond RS.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of companies that are also putting out video versions of classic stepper themes. Even putting the pace schedule on the screen as they did in the old days. AGS has a couple like that that they're launching this year. Ainsworth has been doing that for quite a few years with the high denominations. Just simpler games. They're not a lot of single line games, but there's 5-line games, 9-line games are probably the most popular right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't seen that many big 1-line games. I mean, there was that weird thing that we did a couple years ago with the with Money Cash Machine, which was it was 1 line. It was either you either won or you didn't. But it's usually 9 lines. 9 and 5 and 9 lines are the big ticket right now.
Well, there's some. And was this your company that let the player select the number of lines? There's different line configurations within the same machine. I've looked at so many games. I know somebody did that.
Yeah, you can pick the number of lines. Just your bet up is your bet your coin. Everybody does that, I think.
But something that's not possible on a mechanical stepper.
Right.
That's what I like when they do things that aren't possible on a mechanical stepper, but still don't change the game too much. Like multipliers, little watermarks that add multipliers and things of that nature. I just learned that they're called watermarks, the little things that appear on the bottom of a real symbol.
New ways to skin that classic cat is what it is. It's a very delicate balance. You can't push that player too far. They want to go with something that they really trust and understand, quick and easy, and they read those pay tables and they get it. Those guys, I'm terrible at casino math. Those guys are fantastic at casino math. They're just like they're jumping denoms. They're calculating their wins. It's crazy. I can't. It's amazing to me. So,
okay. So do we want to go 10 to 1?
Let's go 10 to 1.
Okay. So Frank, this is just your overview of everything you've seen, your personal or whatever you feel like. I don't know how you want to preface this, but let's just say your top 10. So we're going to go with number 10 right now.
This is number 10. This is tentative because you laid it on me.
Right. I mean, literally. We did this right before we started talking.
We were like, do you have a 10? That would be great.
So
don't hold
I'll
it
just
to
give
this.
you my 10 favorites. How's
10
that?
favorites in no particular order.
In no particular order. This just happens to be number 10.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite is probably between 2 of your games. I love the Rocky.
You did not pay him.
Rocky Bullwinkle.
Rocky Bullwinkle on the Skyline Revolve cabinet.
Oh yeah, that's
and
a great
I like
cabinet.
that because whoever did the voiceovers, really nailed it.
They did a great job, didn't they?
Baby boomer who watched these shows when you were a kid. I mean, you laugh out loud at that because some of the wisecracks that they pulled out of the show are just hilarious. Yeah. And also even the narrator, they duplicated the voice of the narrator from the show that used to over dramatically state every situation, and he does that like with the wheel bonus. And then they saw a strange wheel above them.
That's
should have
pretty
been you. We
good.
should have gotten you to do it. It was fantastic. That's very good. And suddenly,
Welcome to the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Right, Rocky, let's go!
Nobody could possibly stop us now.
Faster, Natasha, faster!
Is first-class fiendish plot, darling. You got plan, darling?
I always got plans.
Well, Boris, we have done it again.
It is a fiddle and twice as stingy.
Just then, a mysterious wheel began to spin. For heaven's sake, look up!
very good. And suddenly, there's a wheel. Look up.
I love that. I love that.
Great.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's not a new game, but I think you might have it out in revenue newly. Is the Fruit Ninja?
Oh yeah, that's a brand new game. That is a brand new game. We did the skill tournament a couple years ago, the skill tournament, and we did that. And but yeah, that's a brand new game.
Then that's number one.
Excellent.
Closely, number 1A or 2 or
Yeah. 1.1.1.
And mind you, mind you, other companies that are watching this, he's probably just doing this because he likes us.
Wizard of Oz, Yellow Brick Road from Light and Wonder.
Okay.
Really?
It's on the big mural cabinet, that huge mural cabinet.
Oh.
And oh my God, the graphics just pop on that, and all the features, even new features that they've drawn from the 1939 film. If you can imagine it, they bring some new features, and they bring in the old features, which are my favorites. Like Glinda the Witch appears in the bubble, and she flies over, and she gives multipliers or credit awards or whatever. That has been in every version of Wizard of Oz so far, and there's a lot of them. There's like 20 of them, I do believe.
Now, what an incredible legacy that license has done. They've really done a great job with that license. They really have. Incredible.
Back to WMS, they've always carted that. They've always brought that franchise forward with great games. Now we have, in no particular order, the rest of them. Last year, Incredible Technologies introduced this Prism VXP cabinet. You've seen this, I'm sure. It's got a large portrait cabinet behind a regular 27-inch game cabinet, but the large portrait cabinet moves up and down, has an electric motor.
I saw that.
Motor. Yes, and so they're really they introduced a few games last year, but as they told me, last year was, let's see if this works.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Motor always does what it's supposed to do, and it did. So they're loading it up with content now. And my favorite new game on that is called Multi-Ball Blast. It's a pachinko game.
Okay.
The bonus, at least, is a pachinko style bonus, and I always love pachinko games. So
fantastic.
So that's definitely on my list.
And I'm always amazed. Incredible Technologies really thinks outside the box, man. They really do. Every time I go over there and I see stuff, and I'm like, wow, they don't think like everybody else, and it's actually really exciting to see what they're going to do and say.
Aruze is the other company that thinks outside the box.
And
Yes.
Last year they launched that the claw machine.
Exactly.
I want to try that one.
And people wondered, have you been to the D? That's where it's at the D. They have 2 at the D. They have one upstairs and one downstairs.
I've heard about it. I want to try this.
And Circa, they've got it too. Yeah, it's crazy.
They've packed it. They're packed. They've been packed. They're holding what they're supposed to hold. The operators are very happy with them, and they're very popular. Rob Zeems, their president, had told me he was unsure because he was unsure of that game and how it would be received. And when he first visited the D, he was flabbergasted at how people were cheering from the bar.
Right.
That's awesome, because that is a tough game to put out there, to say, hey guys, want to try this, and then to produce it and then see what it does. Like, but I'm fascinated by that, like a carnival style game in slot form,
Yes.
right?
Well, they're following it up with two more in that series.
Oh, okay.
I believe they call it Active Play, the series.
Okay.
One of them is rock paper scissors.
Shut up. Oh, wait, how did it go? Okay,
Sorry,
rock, paper,
sorry.
scissors.
My camera just got crazy.
Rock,
Sorry.
paper.
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah.
So
Rock, paper, scissors. I don't really get what the appeal is going to be, but it's a 1 in 3 chance. You just hit rock, paper, or scissors, and it goes through a cycle, and it picks one of them, and you go along like that.
very simple.
The one I like, the one that made my list, it's called Wacky Gator. What it is, it's a video whack-a-mole game.
We were
Okay.
just talking about this, Mike.
Whack-a-mole game.
Remember,
It's
someone was
really
saying that.
cool. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I think that you'll see those like at the D and places like that, and Circa,
Right.
I'm sure first, but I think that one's gonna do very well for them. IGT, they've got the new Peak Dual 27 cabinet, which is it's like a square cabinet. It's very unique looking.
Mhm.
On that, they have a game called Fortune Coin, which I thought was really good. It's a coin collecting game, and there's a lot of multipliers applied. They had a lot of stuff that I liked. I like their Fortune X video poker.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We're on the list, but that was one of the ones that I really liked from them. Fortune X, it's random multiplier applied to a hand every 9 hands on average, or less, and so it's a very frequent multiplier while you're playing video poker.
So is this in a Game King sort of like collection, or is it its own thing? Because I love Game King and everything.
Me
you put
too.
is
Yeah. It'll
Yeah.
be on the casino units.
Okay.
The slant tops and uprights, and it'll all be multi-hand.
Okay, excellent. Wow, that's exciting.
I'm a single hand video poker man myself, but also from Light and Wonder,
Okay.
they've brought back. They have a new mechanical stepper cabinet.
Yes.
It's called Landmark 7000. They put out Sinatra on it this summer.
Mhm.
Or no, I'm sorry, they put out Sinatra this fall, will be the new one on it. But the one they just put out this summer is a new version of Blazing Sevens.
And it
which
looks nice. It looks
which
tight.
I really like.
Yeah.
It's called Blazing Sevens 2X, 3X, 5X. So
Mhm.
what it does is it takes the original Blazing Sevens, which was all about the multiple 7 combinations,
Right.
and it adds the multiplying wild symbols, which multiply together. If you get a 2X and a 3X and a symbol, then you've got a 6. You got a 6 times jackpot. So I really like that one. It's a classic stepper. It's on their new classic stepper cabinet. So that's definitely one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
There's some pretty good ones
here. Yes. Gaming Arts. They've got our pal Brian Christopher.
Brian Christopher.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's got to make my list. That's a very well done game.
It's
That's a
fun.
very-
Yeah. Rude.
Right.
I played it at Plaza, and I was just sitting there just I was just hitting it and saying rude. I loved it. It was fun.
I mean, he helped them, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
develop it, and they I think they said they made 200 voice recordings of him,
Wow.
for the voiceover on the game, and especially for people who follow him, in his influencer role.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be really great. But
Yeah.
I'm not a big influencer guy. I mean, to follow them, but I like the game too. I mean, gaming
fantastic.
pop and pays more format, and it's a really fun. It's a fun format, and it's a fun game, I think.
Yeah. It's gotten
Yeah,
a
no.
lot of good press too. Like I've seen a lot of people on social media, like really asking for it. Like it's got some great traction behind it.
He's putting hustle behind it, man. He really is. He's promoting it. You know, we love Brian. We're so excited for him to be able to have this game. I think it, you know, and Gaming Arts, it was a great move for them to get that going. So yeah, no, it's a pretty exciting thing to see.
It gives a boost to their new cabinet, their new large format cabinet.
Absolutely.
Called Vertex Grand.
Yeah.
Which also hosted the Casino Wizard VIP, which I really like. That's a great product. You know, these aren't all on my list. So I'm just telling you what I like.
I love it.
You'll have to look at my casino player column next month for the official top 10.
Okay.
We'll have to cover that, Mike. Like we'll have to like do a whole thing on that.
We will definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll change my mind. How important is it to you? Aristocrat.
Here we go. So tell us about Aristocrat. What's going on?
They have a cinema cabinet, which is host to another Buffalo game, Buffalo Diamond Extreme. But the cinema cabinet, I love this cabinet.
So tell me about it. Is it new?
They have this huge floor-to-ceiling video monitor. It's like 11 feet tall, I think.
Oh my God! Wow!
And then in front of that, they have a smaller PlayStation with a 27-inch screen and a button panel. So
really?
that's the format. You're just it's like you're at the movies. And you know, it's really cool.
Wow.
And Buffalo the Buffalo brand works really well on this big format. Also, though, the one that I like on it, it's you know, they have that Wonder 4 game, which they have 4 different titles on the screen, and you can play up one or any of them simultaneously on 4 reel arrays. Well, on this new cinema cabinet, they've done that with 4 different Buffalo games. And the Buffalo franchise, I mean, there must be a couple of dozen games, Buffalo games out there. Yeah. But they have a menu of the most popular Buffalo titles.
Wow.
In the Wonder 4 format on this new cabinet.
Wow, that's exciting.
And
that's incredible, having all those Buffaloes, like just.
I mean, what another franchise that just keeps on winning.
Oh my goodness. Buffalo. It's at the top of it's at the top of the earning lists month after month, you know. It's crazy. I've probably exceeded 10 by now, but I'll keep going. I'll tell you some of the other stuff I like. NovaMatic has a pair of games on their Diamond X cabinet that are really Halloween type, kind of very cool games that they do very well. Senor Muerte and
Senor Death.
Yeah, I like that.
And Senorita Suerte.
Oh, those are cute.
Brother and sister games.
Yeah.
Just the graphics and the content and the audio. I like everything about those games. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
And
they always have really interesting hardware. Some of those seated things, you know, things that are popular in Europe. I mean, it's like they always come in, and it's always like, you know, how do people game in Europe? I mean, that's what I always love. Right. You know, watching NovaMatic, and you know, and even, you know, Aruze at that thing, you know, because their history in the pachinko, you know, parlors and things like that. My God, the technology that those two players bring to the, you know, to the floor of G2E, it's always like, I gotta what? You know?
They have had the coolest cabinets, the coolest hardware in the business for years and years and years, you know. From being able to switch the top and bottom screens to the one which it's in a big easy chair. They put a big chair in front of a big screen, and they put the spin buttons on the end, so you can just sit there in your easy chair.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that one.
Linda, it's like you're in a flight simulator. It's like,
oh wow,
you're like, yeah, it's crazy.
Those are the coolest. Yeah. I mentioned AGS in their high denom games. They also, on their Star Wall setup with the huge screen behind it, they put their River Dragons game, which was one of their most popular releases. A lot of the popularity is because it has really beautiful artwork, and when they put that on the big Star Wall platform, it's just gorgeous. It'll definitely draw you from across the floor. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It sounds like there's a lot of great content, but also great hardware that is coming out this G2E as well.
Well, the Star Wall is really it's so overwhelming. It's just like this. It's like there's a hole in the universe, and this thing is it. It's like those LED tiles and everything.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And that artwork on the River Dragon games that was spectacular. That was a great thing.
It was, and it really pops on that big format.
Yeah.
I like your steppers. I like Every steppers. I always like Every steppers. Especially on the new
signature
cabinet.
Yeah, signature cabinet we debuted last year at G2E, Linda. So we had the signature. I was very involved in the signature, and it was very key for us to keep the legacy that we had going and make sure that we didn't over engineer. Or take people. We wanted a frictionless change because that cabinet was 15 years old, and so we really needed to build a cabinet for the future with that. So I'm glad you like it. We've got a bunch of new games coming out. I know that we've got some. We're carrying over some of the top games like Platinum, Black Diamond and Crystal Star. Those are coming over to it. So it's going to be very exciting because it has a lot more sort of like denom choices and things like that. Like you said, people are choosing more denom, selectable denoms. And configurable, stuff like that. It's all about that.
Well, what you've done with that platform is the same thing that IGT has done with this new Diamond RX, because they came out with the S3000, and that was 6 years ago already that they came out with that, and that replaced the one that had been there for 20 years, which was the S2000's real spinning platform. So everybody's updating their stepper formats without changing the stepper game, which I like.
The thing I find interesting is that everybody is really honing in on this classic player, whereas I think the S3000 was like going after an outer space player, and it was like, whoa, that's that player. No, leave them alone. Like they kind of like things really simple. So I think they pulled back their innovation in that particular cabinet to dedicate to more classic play. So, which I think is smart.
3 reel, 5 line. That's the ones that I like.
Yeah.
Right in the middle,
Yeah.
Very classic. So we've got like some great ones here. I mean, we hit every single one. Wizard of Oz from Light and Wonder. You got the multi-ball blast from who was that from? The Pachinko type of game?
Incredible technology.
Incredible technology. I'm really interested in the action play games. I like how they have branded that whole section, right? Like the claw, the rock, paper, scissors, all that stuff. But yeah, there's just so much going on. And I feel like it's a marry between the hardware and the games, right? It's always been that way. So I'm pretty excited to see the floor this year. And
I'd also like to give some props to Konami for their new. They have a couple of new cabinets that they have great games on. They have the Dimension Top Box, which is it's a regular size 27 or 30-inch video screen, and on top of that is the big 49-inch portrait.
Oh my God! Is it just getting larger and larger?
No,
is that the whole thing?
It's a space race to the ceiling. They're just going to bust through the ceilings of these.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like literally 11 feet, like screens, like it all around you, double screen.
Plus,
like, what's next?
When you set them all up against a wall, next to each other in a bank, Konami has a game called Cash Parade. That there's a synchronized parade that goes across all the top.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. But my goodness.
Konami also came out with their Dimension 75C, which is their huge cabinet with the 75-inch big monitor on it. They have battle bots on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, I call this, what is the new bug light on the floor? Like, in a sea where everything's flashing and everything's big, what is the thing that's going to make you go fly over to this, this glowing thing, and everything. And it's getting harder and harder. These cabinets are getting just, each one of them is like a new hole in the universe where there's like a whole world coming out at you.
Well, Aristocrat went the other way this year. They've had that Neptune double, which is like two 49-inch cabinets stacked. The one that's like an arc.
Oh, the one that feels like it's going to get you.
Yeah. I swear, I think it's going to fall on me.
Like a canopy by putting them fake.
Yeah.
Well, what they've done this year is they cut it in half, almost.
Oh.
They have the Neptune single. Actually, there's the Neptune double is 247-inch. The Neptune single is 148-inch curved monitor, and they're putting out a bunch of new content on that. I like Jackpot Carnival, which is a very good carnival theme with all kinds of fun, carnival game bonus around.
Yeah.
So that's on the Neptune single. But they're going to have a ton of stuff on that.
Yeah.
That's their new, more location amenable version of that curved screen.
Well, it's interesting because you are breaking our story, which is the view cabinet. You are the one who's kind of talking about our new Dynasty series cabinet that is going to be debuting at G2E, and it also goes in the opposite direction. It goes for it's kind of hard to describe these things.
That's the one that has kind of a square format, right?
It's a cut monitor, unlike any other thing that's out there. You said that there was somebody else doing a square format. When everybody else is going to the ceiling, sometimes it's good to to give people some options. Sightlines, who knows? I mean, there may be, situations where people need to put something that's lower. And I would not call this, a slant or a low profile cabinet, but this was more human scale and everything. In fact, I'm going to share my screen. No. Oh, I'm self-promoting. I'm a shameless self-promoter.
I'm totally Switzerland. I'm just like, yes, IGT,
let Linda be
Light and Wonder, IT, Aruze, Konami.
You could just put a big E over my face. I'm like, I am definitely not. I am so excited because we really are, so excited to see the, what's going on. And, look, we're fans of gaming, and so all of this is great. We're also, Linda, tell us about a little bit of another story, because we're pretty excited about. We've got something else that's happening at G2E this year.
So we're bringing this back. We've done it a few times in the past already, but this year we're bringing it back with Tournament for Charities, and Frank is participating. Is this Frank? This like your third or fourth time with us? I don't remember.
Oh my God.
We've done this.
But however many you've had, that's however.
Yeah, right. Because I think you've been in every single one that we've done. But we got 18 competitors, influencers, media folks coming in and competing for their charity. Everyone is guaranteed at least $500, and top prize, I think, remind me, Mike, because I slept, but $5,000 for top prize. And so we're going to play it on the tournament slot tournament system. And is it it's the new one that or like the new features, right, Mike?
Well, let me give you a little bit of background. During COVID, everybody kind of like went, does everybody want to be hitting buttons and screaming next to each other? Right. So, I mean, it was kind of a crazy time. And so, tournaments are back, and group tournaments are back. Our part of our tournament, we've been doing this for a long time. Linda and I have been, oh my God, with Linda with Tournament of Champions, and for me from, all the way back at Casino Commander. I don't know if you remember that, Frank.
Yeah,
you're Casino Commander. It's like, and talking about that was what it was originally, and then Jenny Shanks renamed it, Turn Event, and the woman who coined World Series of Poker. Yep. I mean, we've really this has been a fantastic product. It's always been really good, And the last couple of years we've broadened it. We've made it for tournament now, where you can do sit and go tournaments, and you can do all these other things. We've got a lot of things in the future that are going to be very interesting to see at G2E. But this is on the vertical cabinet, and you're going to see what we saw at Kashada, which was watching people play Pai Dui, which means party in Chinese, Pai Dui, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. So yeah, just go ahead, just make fun of me. But it is such a great game, and we had so much fun, and everybody's going to really see that tournaments are back in a big way. And Frank, you are going to be playing for who are you playing for your charity?
St. Jude Children's Hospital.
That's awesome. That's great. No parents should pay for anything that when something like that's going on.
Parents don't pay for anything.
Yeah,
including transportation, housing, everything. I mean, they just take care of everything for families.
Yeah, those commercials kill me. I mean, I'm just like going about my life going, what like that, either really happy and I go, just like dead in the tracks, and just level set. Let's get things
right.
But watching people go through that stuff, they do amazing things. Danny Thomas, Marla Thomas. Oh my gosh, what a great. What a great history.
It is. So
we're very excited. We're super excited about that. And that's going to happen on the second day of G2E at the Everi booth. And so we are going to be definitely filming that. I was wanting to live stream it, but it might not happen. We'll see.
Hey, we'll get when we get closer, we may just try like we did at the Kashada event.
Just give it a whirl.
We'll see.
But yeah, so we're super excited. We have Brian Christopher that is joining us. We've got a lot like Slotaholic, Debbie loves Slot.
Let me just run this right now.
Okay.
Wasn't that exciting? Look at
that. That was great.
That was good. So look at that.
That was really good. I like that one.
Any Vegas celebrities like Carrot Top?
Well, this one is really. We're doing the sort of influencer sort of all-star thing again. I mean, you and and Steve Burke and Fen Cross are really are sort of like the traditional journalist type folks that really sort of like they create the B2B conversation. They're really they're driving the conversation in the industry. You guys influence the industry, and these new folks, which Frank, you've done stories on this new phenomenon of the influencers. We've got some big, of course, we've got Marco and Brian who are going to be, representing BC Slots. And we've got a lot of really great folks and some of the newer ones that we're really excited about. So, it's going to be fun. I think, they're changing the industry and the conversation online about games.
Yeah. I just hope they still want to read about them in magazines as well.
No, absolutely. Well, look, nobody's going anywhere. I mean, you guys tell us what's going on in the, sort of in the business, and players. Players are probably. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. They're on forums. There's a lot of people like digging around in forums. We're gonna have Josh O'Connell. Do you know Josh?
From knowyourslots.com.
Okay, Know Your Slots. Okay, Frank, I want to introduce you to Josh O'Connell. He has just sort of like this, I've met him. He is like a little encyclopedia of slots. He really loves them. He's on all the forums. He is kind of, I'll be really excited to introduce you to, because the way Brian is, on his sort of like public, he's got a following and things like that. Josh is really kind of doing this online kind of knowledge dive.
Mhm.
He really goes into each game of these things and tries to go into psychology. Sometimes asks those questions that we're like, we're not answering that. Shut up. he's really fantastic. I really like Josh, and I think that he brings something really new to the table.
Mhm.
Well, I like Brian too. I mean,
He's great.
we spent a lot of time with them at the AGS conference that we went to, because he was a speaker there.
Yeah.
So my wife and I met him and Marcus, is it?
Marco. Yeah. Marco.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Marco, yes.
Yeah.
And so they're very nice people.
Yeah,
Awesome. They're really
it's
nice.
a whole new frontier, right?
He's so amazed that he fell into this,
Yep.
just on a whim by starting to film his slot play.
Right.
Got kicked out of a lot of places along the way.
Oh,
Yep.
he has. And I love how the industry is sort of like starting to kind of go, yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it was such a security risk, in the early days. And, we still realize that it's a complicated issue for everybody, but, we really love that, that there is a conversation going online with the players, and they are sharing information and promoting games before they get to even play it.
Yeah.
Right. They're promoting games in their own, in Brian's case, in his own themed slot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're disrupting the industry, right? And I think that's what is healthy. And I think they're making the conversation, which I felt before used to be a more, wasn't as open when it came to slot play. But I think now it's a bigger conversation that more people are wanting to have. And I think that's great that we can now do that with a number of folks that do truly love the game.
Yeah. And Linda, I don't know if you agree with this, but what I'm seeing as a difference is that, because I've been doing this for 18 years, Frank, you've been doing this longer than I have, but the players that wanted to go for a social thing went to the tables. And the folks that wanted to be sort of like by themselves and not make big choices in front of other people, but were a little bit more quiet into themselves, were to the slot machines. Overgeneralization,
Yes,
captain,
but
simplicity. So, but what I'm seeing now is that there is a social aspect where people are talking to each other while they're playing, and that didn't used to be that I remember, because now they're like when we're there, they're like going with Debbie Loves Slots, they're going Debbie, people are coming up and being much more communal and much more sort of interactive with each other, which I think is exciting.
Well, yeah, it is. I like the craps table. You can't get more enthusiastic than that. But they've managed to put that same kind of enthusiasm
right
into the slot universe.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's really.
But I think it's just because they've normalized the conversation, and I think that's the thing, right? Before you might not want to admit that you have a love for slot machines. But I think now it's more normalized, and there's an appreciation for it, which I think is great.
I think it might change after I visit a few of the suppliers have invited me back into their inner sanctums, their secret room where they give you the secret future stuff, or where they show you stuff that they always hold back a game or two.
Yeah.
To reveal at the show. So
yeah. Well, you'll get to see that. We don't get to see that. But and I won't press you, and everything, but and you wouldn't, you're a steel trap. You never share stuff that you shouldn't. So look, you guys, we love slots. I know that we represent we love games. We make good games. We love the industry. And, Frank, we look forward to your article every single year. You always make us look smarter than we are. And, in our collective hunch of what we think is going to be good. And
smarter. Come on.
But it's very exciting. The article comes out. Don't anybody miss it. We'll put a link down below so that you can get all the details of Frank's article in Global Gaming Business. It's
by the end of the day today, it should be up on.
Oh, really? Okay. So
perfect.
We're filming this on Tuesday, so it may be after the fact that we'll figure it out. So we'll get it out after it's out. So we will put a link down there so you guys can read all about the industry. Linda, take it away. Just let's close this out. Let's
I'm just excited about this G2E, y'all.
I know.
And excited about all the new games we'll see. Also the charity, catching up with a lot of folks. So, and Frank, this is also exciting because we have never been able to do this before, to talk about other slot manufacturers, what's cool, what's coming up. That has never been a conversation that was, hey, let's do it. So this is a momentous, thing for us.
Thank you for doing that here, because again.
Well, thank you for having me. Roger said, my boss said, just go ahead and do it as long as it's right after we come out.
Yes. Because I was funny because you said I don't want to scoop myself. Right.
We wouldn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, we have had a great time. We will be catching up with you guys. Also, we'll be filming and recording at G2E, so you'll hear all of it day by day, all that stuff. So it's been great. So thank you guys for hanging out with us, and thank you, Frank, for hanging out with us as well.
Thanks, Frank.
We will see you at the show.
It's really great. Okay, thanks, you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Everything slots.
See, you're so good at that, Mike.
Yeah, I know.